right about now. So good day, everyone. Good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another Power BI section brought to you by UrBizEdge and Enterprise DNA. But today we're having a special guest by the name of Ndane Ndazhaga to take us on topic sentiment analysis using Power BI. So this this session was brought to you by Enterprise DNA and you're powered by UrBizEdge. What's Enterprise DNA? Enterprise DNA, their main focus is empowering Power BI users to change their world. So UrBizEdge is a registered Microsoft Excel consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analysis, and enterprise solution firm in Nigeria. We specialize in helping company and high-value professionals be on top of their business data. So this is our upcoming calendar training. We have the advanced financial modeling and also a mock exam coming up on the 19th to 20th of March. We have in-depth Excel training, executive dashboard, and business data analysis coming up on the 25th to 26th of March. We also have advanced financial modeler also coming up on the 26th of March and also with a mock exam. So, isn't it right? Let me give you some just a brief bio about her personality. Isn't is currently a student, which is doing a master's in data science and artificial intelligence in business school in France. She's a volunteer. She has volunteered to mentor young women who are starting a career in tech at African Agility, where she's functioning as a faculty lead. Some of she is reading, traveling, and swimming. So no further ado, I'll hand over the session to Izini. So Izini, over to you. I'll stop sharing my screen now.
Okay, thank you, Tenidayo. Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to this session. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to UrBizEdge, and I really want to thank my friends that joined the call. Shem, I see you. Thank you so much. And so my name is Ndane. Yes, Ndane Ndazhaga. So I'll share my screen now. Okay, so I'll be talking about sentiment analysis. So during the course of my session, we will know what is sentiment analysis. So they've already given a brief introduction about myself, but anyway. So my name is Ndane Ndazhaga and I'm a data scientist. I'm running my master's in data science and artificial intelligence at a business school and also technical school. I used to work at Eden Life. I have 2 years of experience as data scientist. I used to work at Eden Life. I worked as a data analyst. Shortly before I traveled, I worked at Infineon Technologies in Lagos, Daraja Data Institute, and I also worked as a contract staff at Azubi Africa, a company in Ghana, shortly before I traveled also. So that's basically all about me. So during the course of this session, we'll be learning about sentiment analysis. What is sentiment analysis? What are the different types of sentiment analysis and how sentiment analysis helps businesses. Yes, I'm studying business. So these days I like to talk about how, as a data scientist, how it helps businesses. How does it help businesses grow? And there'll be a short quiz. So please listen. We are going to have a short quiz by the end of the session. And we're going to practice and take questions. But nevertheless, please feel free to stop me during the session to ask your questions. I'll be happy to take them. So what is sentiment analysis? Sentiment analysis is the process of detecting whether someone is happy or sad, basically. And most times, how can you know if someone is happy or sad? In a text. And it is used by businesses to detect sentiment in social data. So how do people feel about your brand? How to understand what kind of customers you have, what kind of customers you're understanding, what kind of customers you have. So just basically engaging if your customers are happy or sad with you, basically. That is what sentiment analysis is all about. And there are different types of sentiment analysis. You have the graded sentiment analysis, where we have very positive, neutral, negative, very negative. And most times that's when you see, okay, how do you rate your service or experience? Rate it on a grade of 1 to 10, grade of 1 to 5. Then, so these are like, these are what we call like graded sentiment analysis. Then we also have the three types of, now this one is just positive, neutral, and negative. Take for example, my experience so far has been fantastic. The product is okay, I guess. It's just you're not happy, you're not sad. Then the support team is very useless. Yeah, that one is extreme. Like, what did we do? Who did we offend? And you'll try to like kind of find a solution to fix your customers are not happy. So and why is sentiment analysis, why is it important? It's important because you're able to please give me a minute. Okay, yeah. So it helps businesses to be able to, like, it helps them to in their customer service to understand what kind of customer service they are delivering to their customers, whether to, it most times it helps with customer service. So you help you to better serve your customers better. It also helps in return on investment. So it helps to monitor your user experience through tools like natural language processing, and it helps you to gauge your customers' sentiment towards your brand, your products and your services. How do your customers sense your brand, your products and services? And it can also be used by businesses to monitor and track their customer sentiments during as it was their competitors. So most times you can have an edge on how your competition is doing and whether you're doing better than your competition and what edge you have and what you can leverage against your competition. And then the insights about the competitors can be used to fine-tune your products, how to make your products better. Is there something your customer is doing better than you? Your competition is doing better than you. How can you make it? How can you make, is there something that your competition is not getting right? How can you integrate it into your products so that you have a better selling point? So it can use to fine-tune the customer's the product quality, release, and mechanism for customer query resolution. So this way, digital experience monitoring can help businesses drive better results for return on investment from their marketing campaigns. It helps to improve the quality of product and services, and it helps to manage your brand reputation. So because most times when you send a complaint about your customers, you see how customers are really sensitive about how people perceive their brand. Most times they ask such customer to bring it down, to bring out such posts. And most times they tell the customer that, okay, please, how can we better help you? Your services, so that you're able to have a more experienced, so that you're able to have better experience on our service. And so there are different ways that you can use to measure sentiment analysis. You can use Python to run sentiment analysis. You can use Power BI, which we'll be going through during this session. And you can also use Scalar. Scalar is like more like a JavaScript kind of like programming, and you use it in your Azure most times when you want to do your sentiment analysis using Databricks and all. But that is more technical. But with Power BI, some of these things are automated. So you just need to run your analysis on it and run your sentiment on it, which we'll be looking at during this session. So what are some of the examples of sentiment analysis? You know, when someone is happy, okay, I didn't include the neutral. So when someone is so happy, very happy about the products, you see comments like, I love cooking, I enjoyed watching the movie, I like looking at the sky. And when something is extreme, when someone is not happy, to be like, this dress is ugly. The meal tasted very terribly. I hate the dress. I don't like eating biscuits. So when someone is saying things like this, you'll be like, these are negative sentiments. This is not good. And you try to like help the customer to improve the customer's experience and manage your brand reputation. So before I continue, any question, please?
So if anyone has any question, you can put in the chat box below. So you can continue. Sorry.
Thank you, Temi. So I'm going to share the link. We are going to have a short quiz. So I've shared it on the chat. So I'll stop presenting. And then I'll share it again. So please, let's quickly click on that link and let's go to, I'll take a quiz. There's no question. And the the link can only take, so the first 25 people to join to take the quiz, that's the first 25 people to join. Okay. Please give me a minute. I think I'll have to start it again. So if you're already on the quiz, I've started it on your device, so you can answer the questions while I try to share my screen again. Okay, so the quiz is active now. Please kindly answer the questions on this screen. Okay, and the quiz is over. That's all for now. Thank you so much for participating in the quizzes. So we will go through it to see the answers together. What is happening? Okay, so I will have to stop sharing and share my screen again. Please give me a minute. Okay. Okay, so which of these definitions accurately describes sentiment analysis? So it actually detects feelings. We have it detects logic, it detects intentions, it detects feelings, it detects reasoning. So I think we all got the answer correct. So we have been listening. So sentiment analysis helps to detect the feelings of your customer towards your product, towards your goods, towards your services, whatever it is that you are rendering. So either to make money, you can drop your sentiment about how this session is going. Probably you don't like my face. Probably I've said something so far to annoy you. I'm sorry. So it helps to detect your feelings and so on that and so on. So the next question is, which of these is the type of sentiment analysis? We talked that sentiment analysis, very positive, neutral, negative, and all of the above. So the answer is actually all of the above. They are all types of sentiment analysis. Then how does sentiment analysis help businesses to grow? It helps them to make bad decisions wrong. It helps to improve the quality of products and services. And it doesn't directly help you to detect trends or to predict trends. So it helps to improve the quality of products or services. So the products that you're selling, because like, so now, for example, having this call, we are rendering you a service, we're not selling a product. Probably, like the quality of my voice, you don't like the quality of the background. So these are some of the quality, so you help to be able to make the, probably next time when there's another webinar, how can we make it better? How can you enjoy it? So this is how it improves the quality of products and services. And then examples of positive sentiment analysis. So this kind is like everyone was just supposed to freestyle and just send what you feel to express your sentiments. And funny enough, everyone sent a lot of things. And if I know you not just send love, you not just send outfits, meals, or games. I know you sent a sentence. So we're going to be looking at it in Power BI. What it does, it did a kind of stop words. It dropped some words, like it trimmed it and just picked the keyword from you. And we can see that from the audience, everyone here, most people use love to describe their feelings. So love is actually a kind of like a positive sentiment analysis. And then negative sentiment. Who sent happy? What were you trying to say? I really don't know why you sent happy. So these are some of the challenges as data scientists and data analysis why we face, because sometimes you look at your data and you're like, no, this is not trying to portray what we are trying to say. But it's okay. So we can see cry, service is actually not like ambiguous, so we don't really know what we're trying to say. And then okay. So I think a lot of people did not really answer this, but it's all good. Thank you so much for presenting. Yay, a big shout out to everyone. So I'll stop presenting and I'll share my screen again. Okay, so I think we're going to have to go to Power BI now. I will share the data set we'll be working with on the chat so that we'll be able to work together and to run the analysis on Power BI. But so far, any question, please, before we start?
So if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box below. I can raise your hand so I can mute you. But so far, it has been going well, isn't it?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll share the data set with you. I apologize, I should have sent it to the organizers before this call, but I didn't send it. So I will send it to, can I send it to Ifeanyi's email?
If I is currently not around, can you just send like on Google Drive? Can you just send the link here?
Okay.
Yeah, over to Google Drive, send the link here. If I is currently not around.
Okay. Please, while I'm preparing the data set, if you have any question, I think I'll be able to take it now before I get ready. Okay.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you just send to teams@UrBizEdge.com?
Okay, I've already sent it in.
Okay, no problem. I thought you were wasting time. Okay.
So you can go there to get the data, and then I will share my screen again. Okay, so when you launch your Power BI, this is the interface that kind of comes up. So you may want to close this, or you can just click on Get Data. So I think I'll give everyone like a few minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes to get their data set. And then click on, because it's a CSV file, click on text.csv, and then we connect. So all Kindle review and open. So I think I'll wait for, if you're following with me, please kindly like drop thumbs up, you're ready. We got to this stage that we're at, and then and it's okay if you're not following as well, so that we'll just quickly like wrap up and move forward. So are we all good?
I think we're all good.
You're the only one that is good. Is everyone good? Probably you can drop like a thumbs up
Yeah,
or
okay. Dimeji said
yeah,
yes.
I think
So
it
if
is
you okay,
okay.
Oluwaseun is downloading the CSV file.
So we'll just meet for a few more minutes. Okay, so I think we'll just move on. So this is an open source data set. It's on Kaggle. You can just go on Kaggle and download it. If you're just starting your data science journey, there are a lot of data sets on Kaggle. So you just download and you can use it to practice and to build projects. So you go on Kaggle, and then this is like, it's just giving review on a book analysis, people that read the book, and then they're giving the analysis. So you can see that great short read. I don't want to put it all down. So this is actually really long. This is a review text, and then there's what we have, the review summary: entertaining but average, very light, modern, cozy book, a story of a girl with big dream, good trailer. So when there are a lot of things, like a lot of sentences like this long paragraph, you have to do a lot of like training to be able to get what the customer is saying. So because most times you don't have time to read it, so that is where the rating comes in. In our types of data analysis, we talked about graded sentiment. So for the purpose of this session, we'll be using the grading sentiment, which is like 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So because this one, the most times when the customer is giving you a feedback, the customer is able to say that the customer is happy. So automatically you're able to know, like, to see whether the customer is happy or not happy. And then there's actually a lot of data which will be analyzing it in Power BI. But in a situation where you have a data set that the customer is not able to see whether he's happy or not, most times for this one, companies will ask you to, like, don't run sentiment analysis on probably their Twitter data. What are their customers saying on Twitter? And then you have to plug in directly to Twitter and then get this data. But the customers do not see whether they are happy, sad, or negative. That one you have to now be the one to like detect the sentiments by yourself. And Power BI has a feature that actually does that, which you can actually write the code if you want to. If you don't want to write the code, if you want to write the code, use Python and Scala. If you don't want to write the code, use Power BI. And this feature is available like in text analytics here. So I'm just going to show it, but this data set already has the sentiments graded, and it's available on Power BI, but it's available for the premium capacity. So for the license that, so if you want to run it, you have to like get your company to subscribe to you to have a premium license. But for this Power BI, I'm using a pro license, so I actually don't have that. And the data set is already graded, like, so it has positive and negative. So when you come to this text analysis and then you click on it, you'll be able to like run your sentiment analysis. That is on a data set that has not already come with like positive, negative, and neutral. I hope that that's clear. So so if you have a data set like this, oh goodness, when you want to, if you have the rating like this, so you may want to like replace the values so that you have like some kind of data cleaning at the back end, which we are going to do here. So replace values. So if it's 1, so 1 is very negative. So you can just decide to put like very negative. Okay, we'll just take the data set like that. So 1 is very negative, 2 is negative, 3 is neutral, 4 is very positive, and then 5 is positive. So when you have your data, you just apply. The data is already clean, so there's nothing much to do. So you just close and you apply it, and then you can run your analysis. So there are different types of analysis you can see. Most times you want to see the trend of customer feedback to see how the trend of what customers are saying. Was there a peak period where your customers were very, very happy? Probably you just introduced a new product into the market, so you can see that trend on it. But was there a time that like there was a downward trend in the positive feedback? Oh, the data set has errors. I need to apologize. Okay, so why is still loading? So was there a time that your customers were very, very happy with you? You can see the trend. You'll be able to see the trend in your Power BI data set. Was there a time that there was a downward trend in what your customers were saying? Probably there was a time that they were very happy, and then gradually they're now becoming sad. So the column we need to is the reviewer time. So this is our dates, the dates column, but it is Power BI is detecting it as a text. So we need to change it to a dates column. So you click on dates, and you may want to add a new step or replace a new set. And then for this data set, there's errors. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll just remove the errors here. But if you're doing it on your own, you may want to check if it's necessary to drop these errors, or you may have to find another way to pass through the data set so that you not find yourself dropping data that is useful. So you just drop errors for the purpose of this demonstration so that we can have a cleaner data set to work with. Then so the first one that we're going to do, we're going to see the trend. What's the trend of why is this still showing error? Okay, I don't think why it's showing error is. Anyway, I don't anyway, let's start it, and then because when I did it earlier, there was no error. So if you want to do the trend, if you want to do the downward trend or upward trend, you use a line chart. So we'll be doing the analysis together, and if you have any problem, be sure to stop me so that we'll do it together. So if you want to do your trend, you come and then the axis, the time, you may want to check the time, and then the rating, what are your customers saying? Okay, so we don't need the quarter, we need the month and the day. Then we want to see the rating. So for me, I like to drag and drop to give me what I want. And yes, so if you want to do some little formatting to make everything bigger, okay, let's just go to the interpretation because so the interpretation of this graph, what it's trying to say is from your data set from 2000 to 2014, there was a downward trend, like at the beginning, probably at the start of your products, people were really happy with you. That is, I can see that the feedback was really low. But once you go to 2010, 2013, there was an upward trend. There was a spike in the number of feedback that you are getting. So it can mean two things. It's either at this time, the business actually introduced a new product, which made their customers to react, because you can see the upward and the downward trend in the time that the data they're collecting. At first, customers were happy, and then they're not collecting. So if your customer is happy or not sad with your product, it's either two things. Probably you're not collecting a lot of data from your customers for them to give you a lot of feedback. So at this time, you can be like, the interpretation will be like, okay, by this time we introduced a new product in the market, which made our customers really excited. And then that was when customers really give you their feedback. Like, they're very happy. This 5%, they're very happy. They're very positive, not positive, and then very negative. But there was actually an increase in the number of feedback that you got, and then there was now a downward trend. So you may now want to check, okay, was it that at this point in time, because you introduced a new product in the market, which made your customers really excited, and then what happened? Why are they no longer giving feedback in the following year? So you may want to check that. And this one is like it's giving you the sentiment of your customers by year. And then if you want to drill down further to know what they are saying, per month. So this is a drill down function, and then you're able to dig down to know, okay, what time of the year were customers happy with you? What time of the year were they not really happy with you? So you can see the trend, and it's actually around May, sometime around May, where there was this spike. So it's due to the products that you introduced in May. That's what made your customers to be really excited and to give you a lot of feedback. Then you may want to drill this down further to know, like, according to what kind of sentiments, what particular kind of sentiments, to give you precise interpretation of the data. So you can use your slicer, and then using your slicer, you go over to your rating and you put it in here. So I'm not really bothered about the formatting, because like that's not the purpose of the class. It's just for us to have a basic understanding of how it works. So anyway, so for the let's drill this thing out. Okay, so number one is saying that the customers like very, very negative sentiments. So you can see that when you clean this, when you cancel this, your feedback, start collecting feedback from 2000. But when your customers were not, when they started expressing their like sentiments that they were not really happy with your product, started from when you try to drill it down, started from 2009. So from 2009, that's when you start receiving negative feedback. So you may want to check, what products did you introduce from 2009 that made your customers to start complaining? And then you can see that there was an upward trend in how your customers were complaining. And this upward trend was maintained until it peaked at 2013, before there was a downward trend. So you may want to ask your business or check in your business to experiment, okay, what were we doing right from 2000 up to 2009, when we started having negative sentiments? Why is it that all of a sudden our customers start complaining? And then also, if you want to like drill down, you can like drill down to know what time of the year that your customers were complaining and they were happy. So you can see there was a spike in April. There was another spike of negative feedback in October. So this will just give you an idea into what you're doing right, into what you're not doing right. And then there was a downward trend in the feedback in November. So you may want to check all these things, ask some of these questions to provide solutions to your business, and that to help your business to be better, to provide like better services to their customers. So you can do the same thing too for the second one, which is like negative. So the first one is very negative. This one is negative, and it started from 2008 as opposed to the other one that's 2009. And you ask these same questions and discuss with the people in your organization, your business, to see ways that you can provide solutions. And then same thing for the neutral, when people are like, oh, it's not good, it's just there, it's just in the middle. And then the same thing for very positive. So you can see that this one is actually started from 2007. People actually were happy with your products, they were happy with your services. So we want to check, okay, what were you doing well from 2007, and where did you miss it when customers are giving you negative feedback? and then up from 2000 and from 5, when your customers were really happy with your service, started from 2000. So you may want to check, okay, what were you doing right? Where did you miss it? But if you notice here, you are not getting a lot of feedback. So it's really dicey to kind of infer something, because you're not getting a lot of feedback. You'd be like, okay, maybe your customers are not happy sharing feedback with you. What way can we make our customers to talk? Because once you're offering a service, it's okay for you. It's important for your customers to give you feedback, to know what they are doing. So when you're not getting a lot of feedback, it actually calls for you. It's actually a matter of concern for you. So you'll be able to discuss and pivot into your product to see ways that you can make your customers to talk and give you feedback. So I think that's for now. And you can also drill down for that to see what's here, what day of the month, and how you can help your service to be better. So the other trick that we are going to learn about is word cloud, which we showed during the quiz. So you may want to bring it here, get more visuals. It's available for all Power BI services. So this one, there are different like visuals on your Power BI service to be able to check. So for this one, we'll see word cloud. We'll see the word cloud. So the word cloud helps you to know, okay, what are your customers saying? What is the most used word that they are using to describe your service? They are using to describe their experiences on the platform. So you want to import it, and so we are using the summary, because that one is actually shorter, unlike the text, because there are a lot of things that the customer was saying in terms of the text. But if you see it, you can see that we have day and great. So great, this is saying that yes, the customer was really happy, but good, book, read, day, off. But these are stop words. So when we did a short quiz, I know that a lot of us sent in sentences, but it was trimmed off. So this is what we call short words in natural language processing. These are things that add noise to your data, so you're not able to detect the real meaning of a data, of what the customer is trying to say. So in Power BI, there are two ways to do it. You may want to go to transform data. Okay, we're not going to do it for this class. And so you may want to go to transform data, and then you add a new column. You add a new column, and then you populate that column with all the words that you don't want. And then by the time you populate that, but we're not going to do it. Our time is almost up. So by the time you populate that column with all the words that you don't want, you now drag that column here and add it to exclude. So it will just exclude this minus these words. And then there's another way you can do it, which we'll be doing this. You go to the formatting, stop words, and default stop words. So automatically Power BI can help you to remove like your default stop words. And when you check it, so this, if you can see the difference between when it had the default stop words and when it did not have a default stop words, the difference is you can see this, they, a, and they are big. It means that a lot of your customers were using it. So you may want to, once you use the default stop words, it automatically filters it out. And then you can see that some of the words that your customers were using to express their sentiments is great, read, good, book, story, love. And if you want to drill this down again, there are two ways to drill it down. You can drill it down according to the date or according to sentiments, but we'll be using like the rating here. So you'll be able to like drill it down to, okay, when your customers were sad, what were the words that they were using to, you can see they're saying waste, this meaning that the book was a waste of their time, boring, did not enjoy the book, it was read. So if I want now, this book is actually a stop word because it's not helping me to know what my customers are saying. So I want to come and add it in my stop word links. You show them. So you can also come here and then add the what you don't want. So and then the story. So you can see that it's removing it, and then more words are coming out. And one. So let's look at this. So you can see that when your customers were not happy with you, they were saying that it's awful, it's boring, it's poorly, it's a waste, like this is bad. So, but if you see this one, this is good and is in a negative, like it's coming out as a negative. So these are some of the challenges that you face as a data scientist. And you may want to check how you can better improve the way you collect your data so that this kind of like misrepresentation of data will not be coming up. But for this one, you can see waste, written, boring, is an awful waste of my time. They are very disappointed. And then if you want to check the dates, you may want to add another slicer. And then to be able to drill it down to, okay, on what particular day, or what particular year were your customers saying this thing. So that is when you add your like review time. But this one, it's only said, okay, at this time of the year, this is where your customers were saying they were engaging, and it's saying that it has 15. But since you are still doing the rating, we're still looking at the rating part. Okay, we are still looking at the rating one by one. So for those that were negative, they're still saying that it's short, much really. So you may want to remove some of these like stop words that do not really make sense from your data. So you already know how to do it. And then the neutral words that your customers were saying, you can see that they're saying is good, short. So meaning that they were not really like, if it's short story, it's just there in between. They're not able to tell you whether they were happy or sad. And then for when they were positive, it's a really good book, it's a great book, it's a good read, interesting, fun, sweet, and so on and so forth. Therefore, when they were really, really excited about the story, you'll be able to see that they loved the story. It was about love, absolutely great, and so on and so forth. And if you want to drill it down to know, okay, at what particular day of the year were your customers saying, you may want to change this. That's when you now have the date column. So it just helps you to be able to drill down, okay, on this particular day of the month, this was where our customers were happy. This is what they were feeling about our service. This is what they're feeling about our product, about our services. So I think that is all, but I'm not talking about the formatting. I apologize because I did not format. You agree with me that designing dashboards actually take time, but I hope you get the understanding of what I'm trying to say. So if you want to like practice more, you can practice more and make the formatting like the heading more bigger, everything more finer, and then at the end of the day, you have a beautiful dashboard to be able to present to the people in your organization, your findings and all. So for now, that's the end of my questions. Please, over to you now. Please kindly share your questions.
Awesome. I've used the text analysis before, but I think more ideas just came to mind when you showed me that. But cool. That's awesome. So let me check. If you have any question, you can put it in the chat box, or you can also raise your hands up. Okay, I can see Rala's hands are up. So I'll promote you as a presenter now.
Okay,
so
hi,
So Ral, you can speak. Unmute yourself and speak.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for this great presentation and analysis. I really learned a lot, and I never thought we could do sentiment analysis with Power BI. So I would like to ask regarding the sentiment analysis. If I have Twitter data now, how can I, how will I put it? Twitter has a lot of people make a lot of comment on Twitter. How do I really filter out the words I need? Because sometimes on Twitter, people could be saying negative things and then they will put positive words in it. For example, people could even be using pigeon. So how can you filter the words to be able to get a very good analysis?
Okay, thank you for your question. And I would also, Francis, I can see your question. I'll answer your question also at the same time. So you go to transform data. And let me take Francis' question first. So this Kindle. So the review time, you click here, and then initially it was the text type of data. And then you just need to change it to date. And then you remove the columns. Let me do that again. So when we brought in the data, it was showing us a text. This is ABC. So you click here and then you change it to date. And you may want to replace the current step or add a new step, or let's add a new step. And so it's showing some errors. So you may have to decide within yourself and based on the data you're doing and based on the project you're doing. You know, as it's not expected for you to drop columns anyhow, from your data sets. But for the purpose of this demonstration, you're just going to drop the columns. So based on your own case, you decide if it's necessary for you to drop it. If it's not necessary for you to drop it, you have to find another way to handle the errors in your data. But that was what I did to clean the data. So for when you get the Power BI data, you may have to, it depends on how you want to do it. Do you want your data to be real time? If you want your data to be real time, that's as your customers are commenting on Twitter, directly, you're getting the feedback. So these are what they call Power BI connectors. So I'm not sure, the last time I checked, Power BI does, okay, yes. You cannot connect directly to, these Power BI connectors does not allow you to connect directly to your Twitter data sets. But there are third-party softwares that allow you to connect to your Twitter data, to your Instagram data. So you can connect directly using this. You may have to pay for this third-party software and integrate it into your Power BI. And then when you get the data, I mentioned what we call text analytics. So with text analytics, it does it automatically for you using, what's the name? Using Power BI, you're able to detect automatically the sentiments of your data. But this function is only available when you have a premium license, which, number one, we don't have.
Where did you get this text analytics? I didn't see where you clicked it from.
Okay, I will show it again.
Your Power Query editor. Check your Power Query editor.
Transform your data. This AI insights, text analytics, Azure. If you're not on premium license, this why is even showing is even because I'm on a pro license. So from your end, I'm not sure if you'll be able to even see that feature like highlighted. So I have a pro license for my Power BI. That's why it's showing, but it's saying that I need to upgrade to a premium capacity to be able to use this. So you need to have a premium capacity and it does it automatically for you. And then you're able to detect the positive, the negative, and the neutral. So it automatically runs it for you. Do you understand? And then when you get the data, well, before you run your text analytics on it, you have to do some data cleaning on your data, which is like remove some of the words that you think you're not needing. And because it's coming from Twitter, you need to remove your hashtags, you need to remove ads. And so you may have to do a little bit of cleaning on your data, which purpose of this class, we are not doing data cleaning. So you may have to do a little bit cleaning. Probably you split your column by delimiter, and then you may have to remove all these at each occurrence of the delimiter, the quote character. So you may have to identify it that, okay, wherever there is at, you should drop it. Wherever there is hashtag, you should drop, because these are things that add noise to your data. So after you drop it, this is like split column by delimiter. So you'll be able to drop some of this. Is it you want to split or remove? So there's a way you'll be able to remove some of this text that add a lot of noise to your data. So by the time you finish cleaning this column, before you can go and you run your text analytics here, so that it's able to give you an accurate representation of whether it is positive, negative, or neutral. Did I answer your question?
Yes, very well. Thank you so much.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so someone from the chat said, his name is Bemi. He said, "Hi, this is my first time using Power BI. I was lost for a better part of the presentation. So I would like to ask, what is the best way to speed up with the use of Power BI? Thank you."
The best way to speed up with your use of Power BI is by practice. Go and practice, build projects. There are a lot of data sets on Kaggle. You just build a lot of projects, design and dashboards, and ask your questions, like bring insights from your data, because most times it's about bringing out insights. So we could see that from the trend, we're able to ask, okay, our customers are not giving our feedback. So you just write it and you can share it with someone to give the person's opinion about what you feel. But the best way to get you up to speed Power BI is by practicing, basically just by practicing.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Let me check if there's another question. If you have any question, you can always raise your hand up. Okay. Okay. For Rolla, can I thank you very much for that part. But for Rolla, what I usually do when I use when I'm doing Twitter analysis is when I get the data, when I scrape it, I use Python to clean it. I feel Python is more easier to clean it, or like Power BI. And then I do the analysis in Power BI. So Well, that's just
that's
one way.
that's another way.
So because Python, you just
Okay.
write the code, you remove the hashtag, the tag, all the smiley, all the emoji you don't want. It's cool. It's cool and cool. That's cool. So isn't a so if there's no other question, you remember the last two questions we usually ask: how you started your own data journey and what advice you have for people just starting out in the old data field entirely.
Okay. Before I start, I want to thank my friends for joining this discussion. I see you. Thank you for joining. And I think I saw Deborah, my friend. She's running her PhD in Germany. Thanks for joining. I don't know if she's still on the call. You are always like the support is always amazing. Thank you so much for joining. So how I started my data science journey. I started in 2018. I studied chemistry education. I was not sure about what I wanted to do with my career, but I knew I just know to teach. I hate teaching. I don't like to teach at all. So I studied chemistry education and I was supposed to end up in the classroom and I didn't want that. So while I was still thinking about what I wanted to do with my life, I got into this boot camp called the FUNAFEM, which is an all-female boot camp. And I learned about HTML, CSS, fundamentals of web development. And just after that, I picked interest in tech, and I was really interested in tech, and I wanted to know more about tech. So when I was looking for a job and all, I just knew that I didn't want to do front end or UI UX. I'm actually more of a creative person. I like to use my head, but I don't like designing. You could see from the presentation, I didn't design. So I'm not really, well, I design. If I'm going to present my dashboard to people, I'll have to design it, and that takes time. So I really don't like designing, and I said that, okay, even if I'll do web, I'll do the back end. So because I was still starting, I got to the bootcamp where I finished from, they got us about Daraja data science, which I mentioned at the beginning. So I was annotating data for companies in the US then for crowd AI and all. And while I was annotating that data, I was taking courses on data camp, and I fell in love with data science. And I said that this was what I was going to do for my career. So I learned data science, and since then it's just been from my career progression has been upward career progression. I got to work as an intern in a number of places until now that I'm running my master's in France. So I think that's all. Then advice. It's important for you to practice, ask questions. And I think one thing that is lacking with data scientists, which we are not aware of, is most times we spend a lot of time just trying to develop our technical skills, which is good. You need the technical skills to be able to do the work. But it's good to also try to leverage on knowing how your data, how it influences business. Because the truth is, the data you're going to, if you don't understand the business part of the business, you cannot bring out insights that are relevant to your business. So from the presentation I did at the end of the day, I had to talk, okay, how does sentiment analysis, how does it help businesses? Because when you're talking with your business and be like, we need to run sentiment analysis on our Twitter, they don't know what it is. So that's why you now be like, okay, while we run sentiment analysis, it helps us to present our brand, it helps us with customer service representation. So that way you're able to, you're not speaking in the language that they understand, which is customer service, better ROI. How do we have a better customer brand? And that's the only way they can help you or allow you to be able to run a sentiment analysis and probably even give you the resources to be able to run it. Because most of these things you have to pay for it. And if you're not speaking in the language that they understand, there's no how you're able to practice your technical skills. So it's also important for you to learn a business skill as well as you're learning your technical skills. And we also have a question. Are there resources you can access to learn Power BI? Yes, there are a lot of resources. You can check Microsoft Learn. Power BI is a Microsoft resource, so go on Microsoft Learn to take some of this, to take some of the courses on Power BI. Yes. Is any other question?
So just to add to what Isn't said just now. So I feel like your ability to communicate and speak also matters. So it takes you far. So you don't need only the technical skill. Yeah, you're good in technical skill. How do you now present? How do you communicate your ideas? Really, that's also what I was wanted to add, isn't it?
Okay. Ndane Dane.
Dane. So I know I messed up the last time you came. I also blew your name, so I'm so sorry. So sorry. So any other question? I'm gonna checking the chat box. So as she said, you can also go online, go to Microsoft Learn on Power BI.
Yes.
So you can go online, search Microsoft Learn on Power BI. There are so many communities on YouTube, on LinkedIn. So many. You can also follow your business also on YouTube. So I'm checking through this chat box if I can send a question. So no question. So Daniel, also I want to say thank you. I know you're so busy with masters and everything. It's always I have friends also that whenever I give them work to do, they're like, Dayo, I don't want to do it. I don't Timmy, I don't want to do it right now. I'm so busy with school and everything. So thank you for giving us time from your busy schedule. And I can't just I just say the thank you. That's the thing I can say right now. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your time. And do have a lovely week ahead. So to everyone have a lovely week ahead. So I think there's nothing again to say, right?
Yeah, someone is asking a question. Yusuf, thanks
How can
for
I learn
joining.
business queue?
Yeah, thanks for joining this session. I really appreciate your support. Whenever I have a speaking engagement, you always join and show up. Thank you so much. And others, my friends, I ask you, I
I can see
appreciate you.
Toby Yusuf also.
I'm talking to you like Yusuf. How
Uh,
can I learn business skills? Okay, I don't know who is Paul. I don't know. But thanks so much. Thanks, Antonia. Thank you so much for joining. How can I learn business skills quickly? There's no microwave part to knowledge. That's just the truth. You just need to like settle down and learn this thing. There is nothing like, okay, how can you quickly learn it? Take courses, take a lot of courses. For me, I have the privilege, my master's has business. So it's easier for me to be able to like to learn some of these business skills. So take courses. There are a lot of business courses online. So take a lot of courses so that you're able to like know the business skills and know how it affects businesses. There is no, like I said, there's no microwave path to success. So there's nothing like quickly. Just take your time. Take your time. And thanks so much for this session. Thank you so much, Temi. I think that's all. Time is ready off.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Bye. The recording will make that available. Thank you very much. Bye. Record then.